ने बिहार का इलेक्शन फॉलो किया होगा। सो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग रहा है, पूरा इलेक्शन काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग रहा है। और 100 सीटों पर रफली आई थिंक 102, 103 रफली जो बीजेपी लड़ी और आरजेडी भी लड़ी, एंड एलजेपी विच इज़ रामविलास पासवान's son's party, the Chirag Paswan, right? They performed really well. Now, अब बहुत सारे लोग ना बैठे 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 इस इलेक्शन को डिकोड करते हैं। दे ट्राइंग टू डिकोड इट फ्रॉम दिल्ली, फ्रॉम मुंबई, इवन फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया, कि बीजेपी ने और एनडीए ने, उनके पास बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग एक तंत्र था, बड़ा एक स्ट्रॉन्ग सिस्टम है। दैट विल ऑलवेज बी लाइक दैट, ओके। बट जितना भी स्ट्रॉन्ग एक तंत्र हो जाए ना, if the voter wants to change the government, because at the end of the day it's just a button, और जब गवर्नमेंट्स बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग होती हैं एंड दे डोंट वर्क फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ पीपल, तो उस गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट ना एक एंटी इनकम्बेंसी हमेशा होती है। बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हुआ ये है, मैं आपको बताता हूँ। बिहार का इलेक्शन ना अगर आपने डिकोड करना है ना, तो उसका बड़ा सिंपल सा वे है। बिहार का इलेक्शन आप ऐसे डिकोड मत करिए कि पिछले 20 सालों में नीतीश ने और एनडीए ने, विच वॉज लाइक एनडीए, the JDU, along with BJP, along with some other political parties, right? It's a collision, right? It's an alliance partnership. So अगर आप इसको डिकोड करना है ना, इसको डिकोड करने का बड़ा सिंपल सा लॉजिक ये है कि people are still not able to forget what Lalu Prasad Yadav and their family has done to Bihar. इन लोगों का एक मुद्दा था बिहार इलेक्शन में कि बिहार में पलायन बहुत ज़्यादा है, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ माइग्रेशन दैट इज हैपनिंग इन बिहार। तो क्या माइग्रेशन आज से हो रहा है बिहार में? द माइग्रेशन इन बिहार इज अ लॉन्ग लॉन्ग स्टोरी that's been happening since decades. So this is not something new. Then they talk about रोजगार। मैं आपको बड़ी सिंपल सी लॉजिक बताता हूँ। I was born in 1984, right? और ये जो रोजगार का मुद्दा है, नौकरियां नहीं है, ठीक है, रोजगार नहीं है, ये आज का नहीं है। इट्स अ स्क्रिप्ट दैट रन्स इन एवरी सिंगल इलेक्शन, राइट? बट you need to penetrate more into the different issues that people face on the ground. You simply cannot just go ahead and appear like a guest, like this guy, what's his name, who runs the Congress right now, this guy, Rahul Gandhi, right? He comes out of nowhere, start bashing Modi every time, start bashing Adani, Ambani, other business houses, right? And then he says that that everything which is happening in your life is because Modi is there, Adani is there, Ambani is there. Now, the problem here is like when you start putting up same script election after election, election after election, election after election, people tend to get bored of it. And this is a reality. जो जो पॉलिटिक्स है ना, मैंने आई एम नॉट एबल टू recall, there was like one Jammu and Kashmir IPS officer or IS officer, I don't recall the name. I saw one of his interviews, and the interviewer did ask him this question, that what is the most competitive field that you think is? Now the guy responded that politics is the most competitive field. देखिए पॉलिटिक्स जो है ना, बहुत बहुत ईजी लगता है ये बोलने में कि पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है, पॉलिटिशियंस हैं, राइट? और ये बोलना भी बहुत ईजी है कि I don't like politics. I completely disown politics. I'm totally apolitical. I don't keep any political opinion. No, you should keep political opinion. Because the food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking, the medicines that you're taking every single day, everything is being impacted by the politics that happens outside your visibility. So I'm not saying that the only way to go and change things is to get into the politics, but be aware. Be aware what your local leaders are doing. Be aware that who is your local MLA, be aware that who's your member of parliament. Try to barge in into those parliament session and try listening to your MPs, member of parliament, what they say. Are they catering to the agenda that they spoke about? And then these days, you can follow them on social media. You can ask questions on social media, and they do care when you start asking several questions on social media. But try to be concrete enough. Try to be realistic enough. Try to be try to be an an objective oriented enough. It's just not that you simply go and say that कि वोट चोरी हो रहा है, बीजेपी वोट चोरी से जीत रही है. आप पहले कहते हैं कि the EVMs are malfunctioned, EVMs hack हो रही हैं, then you suddenly just change your agenda because people don't believe you. Every time you go on that ranting, it's like a kid who is constantly failing in exams, and then suddenly the kid comes up with a theory that the teachers are biased towards that kid, or the entire administration, the system is biased. Of course, one thing that I would say that the incumbent, the party sitting in power, will always have the resources, and it's always been like that. When Mr. Modi won in 2014, the Congress and their alliance partner were far more capable than Mr. Modi, right? When in 2005 to 5 sorry in 2000 I think 1999, early 2000, when Vajpayee ji came in power, again the Congress was very strong, but they still managed to come into the power. It was the same election commission. When I say same election commission, I talk about the federal system. So you need to look around. The solution is simply just can't go on and say that the elections are rigged. That's what exactly this guy, come on, I just forgot his name every time, Rahul, does. He keeps talking about it. So how I decode the Bihar election that I started earlier, I kind of like went here and there, but the people never wanted to vote for the same jungle Raj, the corrupt governments that they have seen in past, and they chose Nitish because people did agree on one thing: whether Nitish did phenomenally something right to Bihar or not, but Nitish didn't damage Bihar like Lalu and the family and his alliances. So and again, of course, the NDA government, and particularly the BJP, they have a very strong cadre system on the ground. Their leaders, they don't simply take that. They come during the election times, but then they're constantly working on the ground. The feedback goes to the higher leadership. Unfortunately, the problem with Congress is they are a party of speakers, leaders, and personalities, identities. They are not a party who has a very strong cadre system that is working on the ground, gathering the feedback, sending it back to the higher leadership, compiling it, and working on it. That's unfortunately is the problem with Congress, and it will continue to be, because when you don't build the architecture, when you don't build a fundamentally strong institution like the BJP, even some of the regional parties has, I would say there are some regional parties who still have a very strong cadre on the ground. And then Congress doesn't even have an ideology. The Rahul Gandhi, he keeps on sitting on different bandwagons. He takes a different route every time. Sometimes he becomes left, sometimes he becomes extreme left, hurting sentiments of a single religious group. That's a very common thing with, or dharmic group. That's a very common thing with Rahul Gandhi. I've started remembering his name better now. But people don't forget. If you tend to polarize one vote bank, that happened, like everybody was talking about sitting in studios, that there's a Yadav and Muslim combination that's going to work. What do you think that aren't the other vote banks watching it? Won't there be any polarization on the ground? And then the women, those who big time voted for BJP right now, that's what exactly the analysis are saying. They don't care about which caste they belong to. They care about women. They never forget. And especially they have this soft corner for Nitish, and they have this soft corner for Modi. And one more thing that you need to remember, the more, and that's something that I understand, something that everybody understands on the ground. Everybody understand that. सभी को ये बात समझ आती है ग्राउंड पे भी, इवन स्टूडियो में बैठे हुए लोगों को. बट मुझे नहीं समझ आता है कि ये कांग्रेस को और उनके अलायंस पार्टनर्स को ये समझ क्यों नहीं आता है कि जितना ज़्यादा तुम मोदी को गालियां दोगे, ट्रस्ट मी, उतना पोलराइजेशन होगा. आई हर्ड दिस गाय राहुल गांधी सेइंग दैट कि क्या है मोदी, मोदी में हवा है, मोदी ये है, मोदी वो है, राइट? That's not the way people accept that when you talk about Mr. Modi. The guy has achieved, the guy has a track record. One thing I would say, and I'll finish with that. You may like or dislike Mr. Modi. And that happens with politician every time. That not only happens with politician, that happens with cricketer. There are people who like Virat. There are people who don't like Virat because of several things. There are people who like Rohit. There are people who don't like Rohit, and so does like Gill or every single cricketer because of technique or the way they approach their game. The same thing applies on politician as well. And there are people who like Modi. There are people who dislike Modi. There are people who hate Modi. But one thing you need to remember, Modi is still very relevant. Where on the other hand, this guy, Rahul Gandhi, you may like him because you like him because you dislike Modi. First of all, the liking has developed in such a way that you start liking Rahul Gandhi because you have an extreme disliking or hate towards BJP or Modi. So your inclination is towards this guy, Rahul Gandhi. Right? You may like him, you may not like him, but unfortunately Rahul Gandhi is also irrelevant. He is not relevant. Modi you may like or you may dislike, but he is very relevant. Thank you so much for watching.